All right, and we are back. 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 Welcome. All right, and we are back. And today we're back with another reaction video. And this time we're doing something we haven't done in a while. We're going to be going over some drama, more specifically criminal drama with our good buddy JCS. Yes, JCS is back with another one. And I haven't done a JCS video in a long time. I looked it up. It's been like over a year, maybe even two. I should probably have that date. I literally just looked it up, but editor put it right here. Put the video right here, like right on my hand. There's going to be where the video was, and also there may be a link to the video. You can go ahead and check it out. See how the channel has progressed over the years. It's so funny. I looked at a couple of clips. I'm like, wow, this is a lot. This feels a little bit different than like what the channel is now. So I'm actually happy about that. So shout outs to everybody who, watches these videos. Shout out to everybody who likes, comment, subscribe. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You never know what I'll put out next. And also, if you haven't already, if you're just watching this video, but you haven't subscribed to JCS, you should go ahead and do that. It's a little weird, so the link will be in the description below. All you got to do is go to the link, click on it, be like, hey, I already watched the reactions to this. Why not at least subscribe to the channel? Watch the videos. But then if you want to watch it with me, you want to hear my yap and my amazing commentary, because obviously you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this guy's such a great reactor. Then yes, go ahead and subscribe to both me and JCS at the same time. One before the other. Obviously, if you're already here, you might as well subscribe to me first, but then I'm telling you to go to the description to do the subscribe to JCS. So go ahead and subscribe to JCS is what I'm really trying to say here. And yeah, guys, with that weird rambling out the way, we're gonna go ahead and get right into this. This one is called Husband Tries to Act His Way Out of a Murder Charge. Now that's, you could be a pretty good actor, but I will say, normally evidence will be against you, no matter how great acting you are. I feel like you could be freaking like Tom Hanks. I don't think Tom Hanks could get away with murdering his wife. It just feels like something he can't do. He's like my favorite actor. I don't think Denzel Washington, I don't think he can get away with it. And he'd have a great speech. I'm telling you, Denzel would have the best speech to get out of this. He'd be pulling out everything from Malcolm X to, John Q. He'd be pulling out all the stops. And I don't think it'll work. So we're going to go ahead and see about this. I do have to mention this one thing. I never bring it up, but I'll go ahead and bring it up one time. That is, if you don't like, comment, and subscribe, more importantly, subscribe, YouTube will come through that door right over there, and they will. JCS, man tries to lie his way out of a murder charge.
According to CBS News, 50-year-old stay-at-home husband David Tronis desperately wanted to appear on reality television.
First red flag right there. You're actively wanting to be a reality TV star.
Late April of 2018, he managed to secure himself a spot on the show Zombie House Flipping, where he would be featured renovating his newly bought house with his then-wife, 39-year-old financial consultant Shanti Cooper. The only problem was that Shanti wasn't nearly as interested in being on TV, so
normal person right here. Shout outs. I feel like she's not alive anymore, but shout outs to her and her family.
She refused to sign off on the program, which resulted in David beating and then strangling her to death in the early hours of the following morning.
Brother, is that Jesus over the Zombie Flip House show? Brother, you killed your ex. You killed your wife over the Zombie Flip House show? Are you kidding me? Okay.
He called 911 roughly 12 hours later at 3:51 p.m.
Hello? do CPR. I can't. Okay, listen to me.
I mean, how do you explain the beatings part? And you can't just say, "Oh, I found her not breathing." It's gonna be like, okay, well, like, what about the bruises on her? Somebody's gonna have to explain that. Somebody's gonna have to explain, like, oh, what about the big freaking choke, the handprints on her throat?
Can you tell me what the
Police and paramedics soon arrived at the residence, where they were met with a hysterical David performing CPR on Shanti in the living room.
Really?
His immediate explanation was that he found her lying unconscious in a partially filled bathtub, bleeding from the nose and mouth. He was then taken to the police station.
What? How would that have possibly happened? These literally, if you're okay, guys, I don't want to just give out tips and stuff for people committing crimes, but like, if you were to commit some type of heinous crime, I feel like you got to think about the excuse you're going to tell the cops, probably for more than just 2 seconds. You probably need at least, like, I don't know, you spent she was gone for 12 hours. You didn't spend at least 2 of those hours thinking of a better plan or something better to do? Like, what the is wrong with you? Obviously, you're an idiot because you're trying to be a reality TV star in your 40s. But, like, outside of that, it's like, you didn't think about a single damn thing. You didn't think about a single one of these things that went into this plan. You clearly just did this, and then after you did it, you were like, I should be able to get away with this one. Like, what is wrong with you?
Station as a witness, where they swapped out his blood-stained clothing for a custody suit. He was also given a water, a blanket, and a box of tissues.
Oh, he still had blood-stained clothes.
6, where he was reassured that someone would be right with him to answer his questions, which wasn't entirely true. He was left in there by himself for 4 hours and 9 minutes before he knocked on the door to use the bathroom.
Man, take his glasses away.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to bother you. May I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
It wouldn't take a genius to recognize that David's behavior is already suspicious.
Yeah,
Ask yourself if you'd be acting like this in the scenario he's claiming to be in. You find your significant other unresponsive in a bathtub. Then police leave you in a cold room for 4 hours without telling you anything.
Yeah.
You might just ask someone, what the hell is going on? Or what the status of your wife is.
Yeah.
And you probably wouldn't be all that polite and apologetic for just trying to use the bathroom. He returns from the bathroom and sits there for another 3 minutes.
Doesn't cry, doesn't show any type of like sadness right now. He's not like, man, what's my wife doing? Bro, just chilling. Now, we didn't see the full 4-hour video. This is obviously just like a little clip it, but it's like, hey, I don't even see, you ain't even using the tissues, bro. You ain't even crying. I see one tissue wad right there. That's nothing.
The detectives will now enter the room to commence.
Wait, hold on.
9:08 p.m. Now enter the room to commence the interrogation. The time is 9:08 p.m.
Okay, 9:08. Been in there since 5.
Detective Sprague. Can I get your first name?
First name is David.
David? Okay. We're gonna grab another chair.
Okay.
Did you need something?
I was just asking for.
I mean, he's got water right there.
Have you been to the restroom?
I just want.
You just want? Okay. How about anything else? Anything else?
I'm starving. A cracker or just something.
You and
just
me
with some
both.
salt, right?
Did you eat lunch? I did not eat lunch.
Don't be fooled by the detective's disposition. They're already certain that David has committed either first or second-degree murder, but they don't quite have enough evidence to place him under arrest, which is why they need a confession. David, at this moment, is still free to walk out of that police station, so the detectives will keep the tone sympathetic and non-confrontational for the time being.
Guys, this is incredible, like, how people never realize, like, wait, I haven't been charged. They haven't arrested me technically. I could just walk out of here. No, like, he is so confident that he's going to get away with this that he sat there for 4 hours, didn't ask a single question outside of, can I go to the bathroom? And then it's just going to be like, yo, I definitely can just talk my way out of this. Meanwhile, the whole time they're doing a 4-hour investigation on why he's guilty. The whole time they were doing that, he was just sitting there not knowing what's going on in a room with no windows. You don't think this is suspicious? You called the cops saying, hey, I found my wife dead. They put you in a room with no windows for 4 hours and didn't talk to you. That should be your red flag of like, wait, am I the bad guy here? Like that's your sign to say, hey, Are we the baddies? Like that's you. You're the bad guy right now. You didn't figure none of this out, and you had 12 hours in advance to think of literally anything. Or to, like, I don't know, watch a JCS video. Like, watch one, and you realize, like, wait, this isn't a good sign. I'm not in. They don't normally put people that they don't think are the suspect in a windowless room for 4+ hours. I feel like they put them out in the lobby. You know, you'd be conversating with cops the whole time if they didn't think you were guilty.
To keep him on that chair, they'll afford him the false belief they are buying into his act as the grieving husband. But as soon as he gives them his initial version of events, the pressure will rapidly accelerate, in a manner that David is in no way anticipating.
What would you like to eat? And I'll run down.
Just something simple. Just like saltines or peanut butter crackers.
Anything like that? Okay,
Really?
that's not a problem.
You can't eat too much when you're guilty, ladies and gentlemen. It's like when you're really guilty, it's like I can't eat a steak when my stomach is churning from being super guilty. I gotta eat a cracker or something. Some peanut butter crackers. He's already getting prepared for jail food. Congratulations. I like how you're preparing yourself early.
We'll be right back.
Here's your water, buddy.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I can take that one.
Yes.
Okay, things. Okay, is that good? Okay, all right. I'm with you. I haven't eaten since this morning. I'm sorry this is taking so long. You are David, I believe? Okay, all right. I'm Detective Teresa Sprague, and this is Detective Barb McClelland.
Hey.
First of all, on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department, we want to say how sorry we are for your loss.
So this is the first, out of a total 11, of David's fake cries. Their intensity level will peak about halfway through this video, during some of the more embarrassing performances you're ever likely to witness on the internet. But from that moment on, you'll notice these acts steadily diminish, as the detective makes it more and more abundantly obvious that she knows he's lying.
David, and also...
Bro, also, I gotta say, this is a horrible crying performance. Like, I've seen people cry. I've seen people lie and cry better. Like, non-professional people, like people who didn't even want to be on reality TV shows, have been fake crying and been better than this. This is like toddler level fake crying. And you just killed your wife, brother. Like, you have to at least have, like, I don't know, high school girl level of crying when you're, lying type of thing, like it's got to be at least like, I don't know, like I'm 12 and I'm trying to lie to my parents or something type. You're not even at that level. You're not even at the 12-year-old crying to get away with something level. You're literally at the 4-year-old pretending to cry for no reason level. And it's like, bro, this is horrible. We all see right through this.
For everything that you're going through. I know this is very traumatic for you. Okay.
No tears.
They start by collecting David's basic...
Look at this. Right back to it. Right back to normal.
Okay. Blonde or brown hair?
I love both.
Little of both. Okay.
Little of both. Interesting. What's the majority?
Hazel eyes, maybe?
If you were really crying, she probably wouldn't be able to tell the color of your eye color because you'd be too busy wiping them off and crying and stuff like that. But you're not actually crying. That's the problem. Look at that tissue. Guys, do you see any additional tissues there? No, I see like 2 crackers. And I'm sorry, I'm not to be offensive or nothing. I'm talking about the actual 2 packages of crackers on the table, just in case anybody's like, whoa, that's a crazy thing to say right now. No, I'm talking about the right next to his glasses and right between the bottle, there's like 2 packs of actual packs of crackers there, right there.
Hazel?
Blue, hazel. Okay.
They're dirty blue. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a home phone?
Really, guy?
There is.
Okay.
I can't remember the last 4 digits. It's 407. The next 3 are easy. 704, the opposite. And I never call it.
The next 3 are 704?
It's 407, 704, and then I think it's 2808. It might be 20.
It's crazy that we're just like showing, like giving out the number, JCS. Like, I feel like people are gonna call this number. You know, like back in the day, like I don't know if you got, they probably still do this in movies and stuff where they always just put 555. It's like the area code or something, or like somewhere in there, because people will call that number. I feel like people are going to try to call this number, JCS. So, you know, hey, you know they're gonna try to call numbers like this. It's like you have millions of people watching this right now. You know, I'm sure, hopefully, millions of people watch this reaction too. So yeah, guys, don't call this number. Don't go trying to dial random numbers. What are you even gonna say when you call them, huh? What are you gonna comment down below? What would you say if you did call the number? Just so I can get I want to know. And then I'm still gonna tell you not to do it because I'm already recording this now. I'm telling you not to do it, but I do want to hear what you got to say. You might be able to sway me. You might be able to sway me. Just comment down below what you would say. Don't call the number though.
406, but I have it in my phone. I haven't. We've had it since we were at Briarcliff.
And when did you move to Florida?
In 2013.
Okay.
About 5 months after I met Shanti.
Did you meet her here or there?
No, why?
You met online? Okay.
Bro, you got to get better at this. Either stop crying or like actually force yourself to cry or something. Like think of an actual sad thing, because clearly this isn't working for you. This seems very phony. And obviously I already know the name of the video. Maybe I'm a little bit swayed. You know, maybe I'm already under the I'm already under the guise of like, oh, I don't believe this guy, so everything he does is fake. But I will say, this is some horrible fake crying. Like if this is his real cries, I would never believe him anytime he was sad. Like if I knew him personally and he cried like this, like actual, like, oh man, bro, I just found you lost your job, and he's crying like this. I'm like, oh, he ain't really even sad. He's like a narcissist or something. This is weird. This is a weird way to cry, I guess.
Can you tell me what year that was?
It was 2013.
2013 is when you met online?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how he just had to, it was 2013. Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah, it was 2013. Like, bro, get out of here.
5 months later, did you move here and move in with her, or just move here?
You didn't wipe a single tear. You're not wiping tears away. What is happening?
End of September.
So you guys knew each other approximately 5 years this month.
Guys, I think I could do a better fake cry than this. I got to be honest. I think I could do it. I'm not a person who tries to lie a lot. Like I try to be as honest as possible, like all the time. But I will say this. I feel like if I did need to fake cry myself out of a situation, I would do better than this. Like it probably wouldn't work. I probably wouldn't get away with it. But when they look at like between me and him, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I feel like this guy's less guilty here. He's definitely actually like real tears are coming down. His eyes are getting watery. Like it actually looks like it's pretty bad. Like, you know, I'd at least try to get the snot bubbles out. Like if you don't even got the snot bubbles out, I don't even feel like you're really crying. Like how bad is it if snot bubbles aren't coming out? Like that's like level 2 crying right there. You know, you got to get the tears. That's level 1. Level 2, snot. Like, what is going on here? You ain't got snot out your nose. I don't even think you're really that sad.
I've never been more in love or so happy.
That's got to be a lie.
If you don't, I know you've probably never been through anything like this in your life. Okay?
Hopefully.
And I'm going to help you get through it. If you have questions, you want to stop me, please do so.
Okay.
Okay? But I do need you to understand your rights before we ask you about anything that happened in that home today.
All right, guys. Warning. If you're out there committing heinous crimes, I'm not advising you to do it. I'm actually advising against any people out there trying to commit heinous crimes, especially if you watch this video. Like if you're watching my videos and are also going out committing heinous crimes, especially don't commit no heinous crimes to my voice. Now that'd be wild. So I'm telling you not to do it. But if you are going to do it and you do get into a situation where you run into the cops, once they ask you these questions here, once they start bringing out like what they have to let you know your rights, you are officially I'm sorry to tell you this. It's not looking good from this point on. It's actually looking pretty terrible for you. Once you start getting your rights read to you, it's like, whoa, why are you telling me this? I think this is information I should have already known. They're not telling you just for, hey, I think you should catch up on this information. They're telling you because you're about to go to jail.
All right. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? I'm sorry?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Absolutely? Okay. All right. So I need you to we're going to continue kind of down this path about how you all met. I know you met on Match.com. And about 5 months.
Are people still meeting in real life these days? Like, are people still meeting at like the grocery stores and the bars and stuff? Because I feel like most people meet online nowadays. Like, I met my girl online. I feel like most of the women I've ever been with, I've met online somehow. Like, even when I was like in high school, it'd just be like, yo, I met a chick on Facebook or something. I'm older than you guys, most of you guys, or even I'm like, fresh out after I got divorced. It was just like, okay, well, where do I go to meet chicks? I'm not about to just go and meet everybody at like a store or something. I don't even like going to bars. So it's like, okay, let me go to go online, and it works. I just don't know. Like, there's plenty of like dating sites out there and stuff like, but I feel like, I don't know. Do people still just meet in person? Like, do they do the speed dating? Is that a thing? I've never seen that in real life. So, if that is a thing, let me know if you've experienced it. How is that? What's that like? If you met your partner, man, woman, other out there, non-binary person out there. If you met your partner in person to person, comment down below. Let me know how you guys met. I want to hear those stories. I'm sure it'd be nice and sweet. Hopefully nothing crazy. If you guys met in like some type of dungeon or something, then you don't have to tell me. But if you met in like some random room, let me know.
Oh, what would it be? Telephone, text, and
We just started every other weekend.
They hit it off, moved in together, then went looking for a house to buy in Florida.
We had an offer on a short sale and waited and waited and waited, and it fell through. And then we closed on the house on Copeland in April of 2015.
So you guys own the house free and clear. Is your name only on it, or was it both of yours?
When we bought the house, we weren't married, and so we put it in a trust, and we just completed the trust paperwork.
He put the house in his and his mother's names while leaving his wife out of it for, quote, planning and financial reasons.
See, JCS, this is why I appreciate you, because that is not what he just said right there. He just said we put it in a trust, and that makes it seem like maybe the trust is in both of their names, but it's in him and his mom's name. This feels completely different than what he's telling the cops. So again, JCS, thank you for telling us the truth here, because we knew he was lying, but I couldn't figure out what specifically about this he was lying about. Like, thank you for telling me, JCS. I appreciate it.
He asserts the decision was mutual, but whether Shanti actually knew about this or not is unclear.
And so once you moved to Florida, you've been living together the whole time, just home to home, just first with the folks, then Briarcliff, and then this residence. But you've been together the whole time. Have you ever broken up?
We had a couple fights, I think when we were living at Briarcliff.
Okay.
We spent a few nights apart.
He says that he just spent a few nights with his mom, then drifts off into a statement about how Shanti was dedicated to work. The detective will now cut him off and steer the line of questioning back to the argument.
But she's
So
a strong
when you
business.
guys would argue, when you would go to your mom's, it was just because she was busy all the time, or what would the beef be?
The work had a lot of stress involved,
Oh.
and she would sometimes. We always agreed, later that she was just overworked and tired, and
So she'd get a little snippy or short or yell, scream, what?
just irritable.
Irritable.
Just irritability. And sometimes it just, that's not really, I don't really do that. It's not really, I just gotta stand there. I just,
It's crazy because he takes me as like a get angry type of guy. He kind of looks like he gets angry relatively easily type of guy.
I would just say, I want to take a break, or just let it, a little cool down period. And every time we did it, we came back. I think we only did it twice, but we were stronger.
Okay. And has that happened since you moved where you are now? Because now we've got the added stress of the renovation?
No, we love it. We love the...
This is Keith Ory, the producer of the house flipping show that David wanted to be on.
When you would be interacting with the Torontos related to your work on the house and also the show, who was your primary point of contact?
Oh, Dave was. He would communicate her desires. I would see her, but it was more like Dave's full-time job, almost, I guess I would say.
Did you ever know during your time that you knew Dave to have any other job?
I was aware that he had explained to me that he'd worked for a chemical company up north somewhere.
I actually never knew what Dave did for a living. When my husband had asked him, he said he was into sales, but I don't really know what that means.
David never worked in
It's a lot of things you could sell.
sales or at a chemical company.
Oh.
You're now about to see Keith explain that he insisted on having a formal sit-down with Shanti to make sure that she was fully on board.
It was difficult to get them both together, but I explained ultimately that we couldn't go forward if I wasn't able to sit down with them both.
Ultimately, you're able to get this sit-down scheduled. Tell the jury about that meeting.
I arrived at the house to meet Dave and Shanti, and she was, by my estimation, unhappy to be there. And it was in a sort of a tense state. It was obvious that she was unhappy with something, and she was only there as long as she absolutely had to be, and then left.
This all occurred 6 days before Shanti was murdered.
Oh, wow.
We love what we're doing to the house. We love the vision that we had for the house.
First of all, nobody loves doing like reconstruction on their house. Like, especially you have to do it yourself. Maybe if you're like, oh, I'm a carpenter, I love building those type of things. He's not a carpenter, okay? Are you carpenters out there? If you're a carpenter in the chat, I get it. You might love it, but this guy didn't love it, okay? This guy wanted the TV. He wanted the attention and TV time. That's about it. She probably didn't even care either way. She didn't want the TV time, and she had to deal with renovations. That's two things that are ass. Like, of course she wouldn't want to be a part of this. Like, I wouldn't want to be a part of this either. Reality TV show has ruined more families than it has helped. Like, it's probably ruining families off screen too. Like, people watching it are probably getting their families ruined because they're watching reality TV shows. It messes up your brain. It's not good. And you want to be part of that. She probably knew it. Like, come on, bro. It's a house flipping show. This is a house flipping show, brother. You're not even, like, what are you going to think? You're going to be Ty Pennington after this? You're trying to be the next Ty Pennington? You're not going to be Ty Pennington, okay? You're not going to be Ty. You'll never be him. Ty wouldn't do this.
Oh, she wanted divorce, but she wanted so bad. It made me happy. It made her happy. It was a thing that we did together. She wanted to quit her job when we got the house done.
Man, who doesn't want to quit their job? Everybody wants to quit their job and just live a nice life. That's like the dream. Come on.
Slowly phase out of it. She thought, a couple of times that she would really need to take a break. And definitely slow down, and definitely not add a whole lot more work. But she could do more if she wanted to. I'm sorry, I can't talk about it.
That's fine. And that's very normal.
He's slowly getting better at crying, but none of this so far is moving enough to be like the lady hasn't actually shown real sympathy to it. She hasn't interacted, like put a hand on the shoulder or nothing the whole time. She's like, nah, these are crocodile tears, clearly. I'm pretty sure there's another lady that we can't see somewhere down here that's also not caring. Like, he's probably not even fully paying attention to their faces to know if this is working or not. Like, I feel like if you're gonna lie like this, you at least gotta glance over at them and be like, okay, has the tears worked at any point? No. Maybe I should switch up the tactic. Maybe I need to add some. Again, you don't have snot coming out of your nose. You're crying. You're acting like tears are coming down. But look at that tissue box, untouched. That's probably the same piece of tissue that was there before. Grab it. Go for it.
Because
he didn't go for it one time.
You
Look
were
at
going
this.
to process this for a really long time.
Look at this.
I know it feels like a really bad day.
Look again. Yet to touch this box. Look at this box. Look at these are supposed to be tears, right? You haven't wiped them off. I don't see a bunch of like tears or anything over here. There should, if anything, if you don't use this, there should be a bunch of snot and a bunch of tears right around this area right here. Ladies and gentlemen, look where I'm pointing right here. There should be a bunch of snot and stuff right there. That is snotless. Snot, not a single drop of snot. Like, what is going on here? You're not good at crying.
Now notice how quickly he manages to pull himself out of the depths of despair and into casually...
You know what, JCS? I have been noticing that. Thank you. Thank you for giving me, thank you for telling me to notice the thing. I was noticing it. I'm not trying to be mean right now, but I was already noticing that, and I appreciate you for bringing it out. Audience, watch this.
Talking about his house flipping show.
We, Keith also does...
yeah, see? Got all he does the... Quick breathe in. Okay, that's all. That's my lines right there. Again, the box is untouched. This is a fresh box of tissue. They brought it out just for him. They opened it up. They pulled one out just to make sure he knew it was already ready. And he used one. He used one.
Our lives are busy. I'm so sorry. I know you're asking simple questions, but Keith does a TV show, a home improvement.
Keith, the guy you mentioned, Ori? Okay.
It's called Zombie House Flipping.
Keith asked them to be on the show,
which meant that we would get a lot of what they call trade-outs and promotional sponsorship to do.
Any financial incentive to do that?
Big. That's what they call trade-out. I'm sorry, that's what they call trade-outs. So their sponsors, that's one of the things I was working on yesterday, was putting together a list of the sponsorships, the windows, doors, cabinets, and so maybe instead of getting granite, you get quartz, or maybe instead of getting, middle range cabinets, you get high-end stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Nice little, I guess, scheme here, scam, whatever you want to call it. So what you do is you sign up to be a part of reality TV show that flips a house. You buy a house that you want to flip. Then you work with a bunch of sponsors and stuff to get all the nice cabinets and stuff that you don't have to pay for. And then flip the house with it and hope the show is successful. But even if it's not, you still get to keep the items and possibly the money from the sponsorships. I mean, I will say, this is a good little way to make some money, okay? Yeah, if you and your wife, if you are watching this and you and your partner are both down to do this, I would suggest to go through and do the house flipping show. It will be corny, and you might have to be one of those people that just have kind of that mindset, but at the same time, make sure you're both into this, and then don't do anything to don't murder each other over it. I don't know what to say. Don't do that. Don't do that over this. It just doesn't work in that way. It just is not. You guys know what I mean. It's not they didn't have the right mindset, and apparently he's got some type of grind set mindset where he's like, yo, we got to get these sponsorships. We got to do this reality show. She's trying to be a normal person. And what does he do? Takes her out of the game of life. That is not the board game.
And we're also working on kind of just an amazing open concept stairway in the middle of the house that was going to go all the way up to the pond.
And so they'd come in and start filming? Mm-hmm. Would they film you all or just the work?
No. Yeah, it's just the house. They're the stars.
Pay no attention to David's no. He fully understood that he would be featured prominently on the show as the main builder construction.
I'm about to say, any watch any reality show, you know they're going to be filming you guys, especially if it's like, oh, we have a couple here who bought a house and we're going to help them flip this house. And then they're going to be the people, like the couple. They're going to ask you guys questions. You guys are going to be main stage. They're going to be like, hey, how do you feel about this? You guys are going to have y'all little segment interviews where it's just the individuals and they have your little name here, a homeowner under it, you know, or husband or wife or whatever they put under there. And they're going to be like, hey, how do you feel about this? And then you got to ask all those questions, and they got to do that for weeks, and then they got to cut it down to make it seem like this all happened over a short period of time, when really it took like months to get all this stuff done. So for months, they're going to be camera guys in your house asking you guys individual questions, doing all this stuff until it's finally constructed. How long do renovation projects take? I don't know, a freaking whole summer sometimes. You know, sometimes like half a year. What are you doing here? Of course they're, oh, come on. This guy's a bad liar. No wonder he didn't, I mean, come on, bro.
Guy. The so-called stars he's talking about are the hosts. The detective will now establish a timeline.
So when she comes home Sunday, it's you, Jackson, and Shanti, and you just stay at home and have is it a pool get together?
We only have them every other Sunday. It's our family day, and we do like to have an early meal, watch a movie.
So, do you recall Sunday night about what time everybody goes to sleep, since you're all
We
in
go
the
to
same
bed
room?
early on school nights, so 8:30 we're winding down, 9 o'clock lights are low.
Shanti's son gets picked up the next day at around 5 p.m.
5 p.m.-ish, okay. All right, and then do you guys go anywhere, do anything, or you stay at home?
I think we made dinner together that night. And,
So that would have been Monday night. Did you watch TV?
we did.
Any idea what?
What'd you watch? American Idol.
Okay, so you wake up Tuesday morning and you're in the garage on
Bro's brain rot. He's watching American Idol. Come
the
on.
couch?
I usually wait for her to come down. She came down after 7 o'clock, probably almost 7:30.
Shanti went back upstairs and David started doing chores around the house. He's now about to mention the last time he supposedly saw Shanti alive, and then break into another fake hysteric. Yet this time, he will get no reassuring feedback from the detective, and the charade will rapidly dissipate.
Yeah, just normal routine. And she came down again. I'm so sorry.
She came down again, and what happened?
Came down, and I've thought about it. I've tried to think exactly what time it is, but I don't know exactly. I would say probably 9:15 in the way.
Okay, so it's 9:15 in the morning, according to him. She just walked back downstairs for the last time, and he doesn't know what she said or what was going on. She just came downstairs and went back upstairs. Interesting.
The reason I know that is
She said she was going to the dentist, and he said he was going for a walk. He now attempts another fake cry, but gets ignored again.
And
Did you take the dogs for a walk?
I went for a walk.
By yourself?
I mean, I feel like the dentist appointment thing is very verifiable. Like, can we get a detective on that? Does she have a dentist appointment today? Like, let's go get that figured out right now.
By myself.
Where'd you go?
I went around Lake Lucerne and went out to Orange.
He comes back home and feeds the dogs.
That's all that I can remember until I went upstairs to see when we were going to pick up Jackson.
Okay, and what happens when you enter the home? Is anything unusual? When you enter the garage apartment?
So, I could hear the water is running, but it's not running. It's not like the sound of the shower running. It's just, it's trickling out of the spout.
Okay, and so you walk toward the water that you're hearing?
Yeah, walking to the bathroom.
Okay.
Just in case you didn't catch the passive-aggressive nature of that response,
Yeah.
here it is again without subtitles.
And so you walk toward the water that you're hearing?
Yeah, walking to the bathroom.
Okay.
Just look at David's face. Poor
Yeah.
David really doesn't want to be getting grilled like this anymore.
Yeah, buddy, you're cooked. Yeah, I walked to the bathroom. What do you mean? Like, come on, brother. So you were in the garage. You heard a little bit of water. You were like, oh, let me walk towards that bathroom right there. what's going on here. You heard the water coming out, and then you go up, and then let me just guess. You find your wife bloodied, beaten, bad. You don't know what happened. Are you gonna try to say somebody broke in now? Are you gonna lie and say somebody broke in? Are you gonna tell the truth? Are we gonna? No, you're not. You're gonna lie. What are you gonna say? You just found her like this. Oh, I don't know. She's got. Her nose bleeds when it gets too hot sometimes. I think she may have fell in the tub when she was trying to get in the tub. She must have fell and like hit her head everywhere. And when I found her, she was like in a position where it didn't look like she fell. There's no blood on the walls or nothing, but like, I don't know. Yeah, it was just weird. Come on, bro.
Keep in mind, it's almost 11 p.m. He likely didn't get a whole lot of sleep the night before, and he's been acting his ass off all throughout the day. He'll at this point be exhausted and want nothing more than to get out of that police station. But he doesn't want to challenge the detective directly and risk losing her approval. Hence, he throws out a weak little display of passive aggression to see if she'll pick up on the hint, but it of course gets ignored. She will simply continue pressing with an unsympathetic tone which will cause David to revert back to appeasement. He will then begin recounting the horrific circumstances under which he supposedly found Shanti. And as this unfolds, you will see a glaring disparity in David's emotional presentation.
The doors open, and what happens? What do you see?
I see her laying with her head.
See, I feel like if you were really okay. Again, I'm not trying to give more advice to people committing heinous crimes, but like, I do feel like if you were going to be committing a crime, you would be crying at this point too. Like, this is the point where you'd be crying if you were talking about, oh, I'm innocent, right? Like, if I was going to be like, oh, I'm super innocent. I walked in, I found my wife. I walked in, I found her head. Like, I found her head. Like, she was like, you would do something along those lines, right? You'd be like repeating specific phrases and words. Like, she was bleeding. She was freaking bleeding from her face. Like, you would do something like that. Like, you would do something where it's like you were, I don't know, you'd have more emotion about it. This is a super emotional moment. Your wife, you walked into a bathroom and found your wife bleeding in the tub. You would frantically be calling 911 and all that stuff, and then you'd be like, you know what? 4 hours later, where is she? Is she okay? We haven't heard this guy ask if she's okay a single time. Come on.
The right hand corner. And it's just extremely awful, and it doesn't look natural. Obviously she fell or something happened.
But you did shot.
Nice. It doesn't look natural. Obviously she fell or something.
Obviously she fell or something happened.
Yeah, guys, it doesn't look natural. Obviously she fell or something happened. You know, what could have possibly happened? I don't know. Why, man, this room for 4 hours and nobody talked to me before y'all came in here and asked me an hour and 38 minutes worth of questions. I don't think he did that good in school, guys. I don't know if he knows how to connect dots, do addition, multiply, divide. He doesn't know how to do any of those things. He doesn't know the difference, between what's happening and what should be happening.
But you did.
Those were some math jokes for you, for all you mathematicians out there who watch my videos, or it's like, yo, I've always wanted more math jokes in my JCS videos. Guys, I'm the reactor for you. You wanted some multiply jokes in there. Let me think of some.
Shut off the water.
I did shut off the water and it drained, which tells me I could hear it draining when I pulled her out. I could hear. So I guess this is all weird, right? Because she's in there, the water's on, and it's draining. It doesn't make any. It just doesn't.
What?
And it's not on all the way. It's on how
like lukewarm, so just past half.
And she's face down. So the first thing you do is what, if you recall?
I reached out and grabbed her. I reached out and touched.
Okay, so he started repeating the word "and." That's not the phrase I would be repeating again. You gotta get, if you're gonna be at this point into doing heinous crimes, you have to be better at lying. It's just a number one requirement. You gotta be like a pathological liar. If you think for a second you're going to get away with something like this, you have to be one of those people that can pass a lie detector test. And I know a lie detector tests aren't 100%, but here's the thing. If you have enough conviction, You can pass a lie detector test, apparently. He don't got enough conviction to pass the eye test. That's the problem. There's multiple tests. Right now, he's failing the visual test of this lady is directly in front of him. He's failing. Now she's a pro. She's really good. She's seen this. She do this all the time. She good at her job. But I'm an amateur. I don't watch these all the time, and I don't believe you. I'm trying not to be persuaded by the fact that the name of the title again is husband tries to act his way out of a murder case. I'm just a person who's seen movies before. I've seen acting performances. I've seen people who lie in real life before. They're all better than you. Every single one of those people that I just named are better than this guy at lying. You know, there are literally 30-year-old women out there right now who would get away with this crime. Right now, they would get away with it because they would actually try. You know, they would have snot coming down out of the nose. You know, because they'd be like, you know what? If I can't cry about the fact that I just like got rid of this person, I'm gonna cry about the fact that like there may be consequences. Now, I don't want to face those consequences, and that's why we're here. You know, so bam, and now they start crying about that. He's not even doing that. You're not even taking the second logical step into what else should I cry about to revert back into this situation to make it seem like I'm crying about this. Again, look at this tissue. Look at this. Look at this. I think there's 2 packs of crackers here and then maybe 2 small wads of tissue. This water bottle ain't even fully drinking yet. Like, you are not really emotional right now, and that is a big problem for me, because if you're going to try to get away with this, you got to be at least a mediocre actor. At bare minimum, be mediocre at acting, and I feel like you could at least get past, like, they at least let you go home today. You still be a suspect, but they at least be like, all right, well, you're free to go today. But you're not going to be free to go today, bro. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking at you. If I'm her, you're not free to go. We got tons more questions to ask you, but you got to get to a cell before we can ask them to you. You're officially under arrest right now. They're going to be putting the cuffs on them by the end of this video, I'm sure. Fingers crossed.
Her right arm. The water is rose colored, so there's blood in the water itself. I can see a spot of blood.
And you pull her by her arms?
So I grabbed someplace on her arm. Tried to get kind of under it a little bit.
You said she seemed stiff?
Yeah. Hard to move.
Already? You know, bodies don't become stiff like the moment that they, you know, they go. You guys know. I'm just. Like Rick and Mortis takes a little bit of time to kick in. Like if the body is like stiff, that's not something you want to be telling the cops. Like, oh, my wife I was outside for 5 minutes. I came back. The body was stiff. Like, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Come on. Look at her. She's writing down right now. In her notes, it says, that's not how this works. He probably can't see it because he's too busy trying to fake cry. But she's writing, oh, wow, that's not how this works.
There's something so incredibly unnerving in the sound of the casual crunching of his snack as he recounts in precise detail the limp and lifeless body of his wife. So we'll spare you the rest of it.
I mean, I will say, I still have yet to see him actually cry. Those tissues are still dry, my bro. I can't even say words anymore. I'm trying to say bro, and I can't even say the word because I'm so frustrated at this nigga. Like, come on, man.
And turn her a couple of times. Then she felt cold. You asked how she felt. She felt cold.
She felt cold.
I grabbed the,
Again, I don't think bodies go cold right away. I feel like that takes time. Probably takes the same amount of time as the rigor mortis that you're describing. This all makes it seem like this happened hours before, which means if you took the dogs on walk for hours and hours, and then she took like a 5-minute dentist appointment, came right back after the 5-minute dentist appointment, and then immediately tripped and fell and died. And then literally 3 hours later, you came back with the dogs like, oh man, what's this water dripping off? I don't think that happened.
You grabbed the what?
And also, I don't know if 3 hours is the right amount. I feel like it probably takes more than 3 hours before your body goes into rigor mortis. if you are a person who deals with if you're a mortician out there, comment down below. Let me know how long that takes.
We had when we did the bedding, we took the mattress cover off to wash it.
The detective asks David to draw a map for the purpose of illustrating the timeline of his movements. She will now shift the line of questioning and begin to gradually intensify the pressure.
When was the last time the two of you argued?
Police, I want you guys to take his glasses. I want him to not have glasses in the situation. It's just, I don't even want to be associated with this guy and the fact that he wears glasses and I do. Take his glasses away, cops. I give you permission to break his glasses. He's a criminal. Break him in front of him so he knows.
Very briefly on Saturday, right before we left.
The argument was over the renovation. David likely admitted to this because Shanti's son was there for it.
The upstairs floor was very wavy, and the point of contention probably was, do we tear all of that out and put in new structure and trusses so we have a perfectly flat floor and then a perfectly flat ceiling? But I don't think it's an argument if Shanti and I are both on the same page and we're both just in agreement and upset reasonably and justifiably upset that it's taking longer. Shanti and I aren't. So
this isn't you guys arguing. This is you both just passionately speaking aloud is what you're trying to say. You both were just like, yeah, this is the worst. And you know that you were just like, yeah, I hate this too. And then the kid just was like, oh, you guys, I think they're arguing with each other, but no, they're actually arguing with each other. Like they're arguing on the same side. That's what he's trying to explain. Like, no, we weren't arguing against each other. We were arguing, like me and her were on team. We were like this. It just sounded like an argument if you were anyone listening to this, because we were like going back and forth of like how much we both hate the same thing. And then reasonably, obviously, you know, this is how you sound. This is how dumb you sound right now, guy. Come on.
Fighting about it.
Are you
We're
yelling?
both upset about the same thing.
Does she?
See, normally when me and my girl are upset at the exact same thing, we don't have to yell at each other. That's like, because it's like, hey, we're both upset about this thing. Hell yeah. And it's like, yo, should we just yell at each other about it? Nah, let's not do that. Let's yell at the person we're upset about, or let's like find a way to relax about it together. You know, there's actually a pretty cool way that, you know, couples can relax and get their minds out of stressful situations together. You know, it's a really, really cool, interesting thing that couples can do together that normally helps like de-stress a lot of situations. So if you're a couple out there, figure it out, you know, go ahead and find yourself a bedroom or something, just any room really that maybe the two of you could be, I guess, a little bit more intimate in, and just figure out a way to relax, you know, just figure it out. You know, there's things that can go in places that can make things really easy to make everybody more relaxed in life, you know?
I feel as though you don't listen to her.
No, I don't think so. She knows I listen.
Has any fight ever turned physical between the two of you?
No.
Okay. Has she ever hurt you, hit you, struck you, threw anything at you?
No.
No.
I don't like the way you said no. It really makes me feel like you had to really think about that. Like you had to think about that too hard. Like, no. Like I feel like if your girl don't hit you, you could just be like, nah, she don't hit me. No, I never hit her. No. That's not how our relationship is. Like I feel like you could just say that. But I guess when you're in the hot seat, it makes everything you say sound a little bit worse. But at the same time, I do feel like you should have less hesitation with that no.
Have you ever harmed her physically?
No.
David
Look at that no. He said that no quickly. You should have said the first no quickly.
Continues to pretend that he doesn't notice the accusatory nature of the questioning, so the detective will now intensify the pressure to a significant degree.
Yeah.
She seems to shed.
She sheds. Interesting.
Her injuries to me, David, seem really significant.
Yeah. What did I say at the beginning of the video? Like, yeah, you could say she fell or something, but like they're gonna ask about like the bruises that like don't match with a person just falling. They're gonna be like, well, why's like the back of her neck look like it got choked or something? Like, why are there fingerprints all over her neck? Like, why are there like a mark of a hand that looks similar to your hand shape all around her neck? I was gonna say sarcophagus, but that's not the right word. But you guys know the word I was trying to think of. So shout outs to people who are gonna just comment down the right word with that little mark on it, being like, "Oh, you meant to say this." Like, yeah, I did, but you know what? You know what I meant.
Soft tissue fall. More significant than from me tripping and falling and hitting my head and being knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
She elaborates on the inconsistencies while David just sits there and nods.
The issue I'm having with it is I absolutely think that she was deceased before you left to go to the park.
Nick, did you just nod your head yes to that?
Absolutely think.
Look at this.
That she was
He's nodding his head.
Before you left to go to the park.
Are you dumb? What is happening right now? Why did you just nod your head yes to that question like that? Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I did do that before I left out. Like, I forgot about that. Thank you, officer. You just told the officer thank you for reminding me that I actually did commit the crime. You are an idiot. Oh my gosh.
She repeats what she said a few more times, while David just keeps doing what he's doing.
So he's just gonna keep nodding to her saying like, no, you definitely that don't sound right. This is an inconsistent thing, and this don't look good for you. And he's just like, yeah, nah, this don't look good for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you are an idiot.
Think that you've told us a significant amount of information. You've been very cooperative, but I also think that you've left some stuff out.
Yes.
And I think you've left some stuff out that is
significant.
Maybe something got out of hand. Maybe you didn't mean for it to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe you got upset.
Maybe.
But there's something that happened between the two of you before you left that house. Because she was deceased, or on her way to being deceased, before you left that house. Now,
again, you said her body was stiff when you found it. Like, how long? That don't just take 5 minutes. I don't think that's a 20-minute thing. That probably takes at least a couple hours.
If there's an explanation, I want to hear it.
Again, if you're a coroner and you just know the answers to these questions, go ahead and comment them down below. How long does it take for the body to go to rigor mortis? Obviously, I could just Google it. We have the power of technology to answer to every question we could ever think of at our fingertips. But I'm doing this for the engagement as well. I'm being more transparent with you guys. It's the engagement is really cool. You know, you get this is a call. I'm giving a call. You're doing a response. You know, call, response. I ask you a question. You respond to the question. It's how we interact. It's how we build this parasocial relationship that we're trying to grow here.
I told you everything.
But you've left out something, David, because this woman has significant injuries.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not from a fall.
No. I can't believe you really thought you can get away with saying she fell. Like, what do you think this is? The 50s? You thought this was 1925? No, it's 2025. People are smarter than this now. Oh, she just tripped and fell in the tub. Oh, I guess we're not going to ask why she has all these punch marks on her. That makes sense. Like, no, they're going to ask about the punch marks. They're going to be like, wait, why she got a big black eye that looks like the shape of a fist? Oh, why are there like marks all over places where she shouldn't have fell? Like, why is there a punch on her back? Like, that don't make sense if you just fell. Like, she didn't fall on anything. She fell in the tub. Oh, the tub doesn't look like it got an impact on it. It looks more like somebody placed the body on this tub versus somebody had an impact that would have made them bleed so bad. Like, you think there may be a crack in the tub or some type of abrasion on the tub. But no, there's not. And you are an idiot for thinking that, oh, I could just get away with saying she fell in the tub. Is her skull cracked? I don't know. Is her skull actually cracked? from like falling into a tub so hard that like she started bleeding all over the place, like out her nose and out her mouth, but not like from her head or anything, like directly from like her head where she would have made the impact. This is a unbelievable story. You are an idiot.
Did you harm Shanti in any way?
Absolutely not.
Did you choke her?
Absolutely not.
Did you strangle her?
Without question, no.
Okay. It feels like I feel like she almost got him into saying yes just now. Listen to how he...
Did you harm Shanti?
She asked the same
way?
question 3
Absolutely
times.
not.
Did you choke her?
Did you choke
Absolutely
her?
not.
Did you strangle her?
Without question, no.
See, right there. Those are the same 2 questions. The type of responses he's giving gives me like a 100% I did not do that. Like, come on, bro.
Did you choke her?
Absolutely not.
Did you strangle her?
Without question, no.
Without question. Who starts off a statement of I didn't do this with without question, I didn't do this? Like, if anything, you should say without question, I did. Yes, I did that without question. You say I did not do that without question, feels like a weird statement to me. Without question, I did not do that. Okay, buddy. You could just say no. You brought out a without question. It gives me questions. You told me without questions, and now I have questions. Congratulations. You added questions by saying without question. I have so many questions.
Did you beat her?
No.
Did you hit her with anything?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Do you have injuries?
I do not. I do have some scratches from the bromeliads.
Do you have injuries? Absolutely not. Well, I do have scratches from something completely different.
From the bougainvillea.
Okay.
I do trim them myself.
Aside from the scratches from his plants, David had no injuries that could indicate a struggle. But this might explain why.
You noticed a single earring on the nightstand?
A single what?
A single diamond earring on the nightstand.
Yes.
And what was the significance of that?
Looks like she removed it before bed and didn't get a chance to remove the other one.
Because you believe that's when the attack occurred.
On the edge of the bed, where the blood was found on the side rail, yes. And I think when she turned to take that earring out, she didn't see it coming.
Would you mind?
That makes sense. That makes sense to the type of character that this person is. That makes sense to who he is as a guy. That he attacked a woman when she wasn't paying any attention, blindsided his wife while, you know, she had no focus on him. She was like, you know what, I'm just about to go to bed. And now here he goes with his thing. She doesn't even get a chance to defend herself because of this guy. So yeah,
Just for
that makes sense.
me to be able to say David is a perfect gentleman and is in the clear and did not harm his wife, would you mind taking a polygraph and proving that to us?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would that be a possibility? Yeah.
I feel like you got to ask. I don't even think you got to ask, would that be a possibility, right? I feel like that's not. Is that just. Maybe this is a me thing. I might be nitpicking here, but like, I feel like you should just know that it's a possibility or be under the assumption that it is a possibility. You should, like, as the cop, you shouldn't ask him first and then ask the other cop, right? Like, I'm no cop here, but like, if you're a cop in the comments, let me know. Like, would you ask the other cop first, or would you just be like, hey, we're going to be doing this, and then like go out the room and be like, yo, is that possible? Then be like, yeah, we can do that. And be like, okay, cool. Cause I'm just straight up telling them we could do it. Like, sometimes you just got to do that. Sometimes you just got to be like, you know what? We can do that. We will be giving you a lie detector test, knowing you're not about to give them one. Just, you know, you're a cop. When the cops lie about stuff in these situations, it's different. You know, they're allowed to lie in order to get you to, you know, incriminate yourself. That's just what cops are allowed to do. I would have used that right now. I would have utilized that right now to just be like, we're giving you that test, whether or not I know we even have the test available. I'm just saying it. I'm throwing it out there, and you're going to agree because you're going to be under arrest.
Okay. All right.
The detective asks David if he wants another water, to which he says, sure. So she brings him a water and tells him they'll be right back with a polygraph machine. But instead of coming right back, they leave him in there for just over 2 hours, during which time they decide not to proceed with the polygraph, but simply ramp up the confrontation.
Hi. You doing okay?
Yeah, it's just...
Okay, now we got a switch out. We got the other lady out here. What's she gonna be about? What's she talking about?
Did you sleep a little?
I did.
I know you've got to be exhausted. Or at least mentally. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the plan. That's the plan.
I want to point out some things to you that I think are unusual. There's so many, I really don't know where to begin, to be perfectly honest with you.
Hey, shout outs to this lady. I already like her personality. You know, I'm you know what? I'm a little smitten.
I think
cop?
that I find that the living arrangement, I find to be completely...
Ooh. Guys, y'all might not notice this, but I'm noticing it just now. Look what she does. Look. I know he's got the mark right here, but look at this right here. Look at this tissue box. Look what she's doing. She's slowly bringing it away from him because she's never going to use those things. He's never going to bring out the tissue. Look at her hands. Look what she does when she's fidgeting.
I find that the living arrangement...
Bring me closer. Look at this. Look at this. It's right there. It's completely on her book, on her folder right there. She will know the moment he goes to reach for it a single time or has any type of like, do I need a tissue? She's been noticing the whole time. This is why I like this cop. She been noticing the whole time he ain't been using the tissue. And now she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to slowly bring it closer to me. I'm going to slowly bring it over to my side. You know what? She might even be like, you know what? We don't need this right now. She might put it on the side of her. If she puts that tissue box on the side of her, that's like the ultimate power play of you are faking this. That's the you are, she's inching the you are faking this, like, she's like trying to figure out like psychologically, like, okay, let me bring this towards myself. Does he need them? No, he's not even going to look at him, not going to reach for him. All right, power move. Put him on the side. Now you don't need, now we not crying no more, huh? Now we not even crying no more. We don't even get the tissues, huh? Come on. I see it.
Unusual.
I see what she's doing.
You to be primarily living downstairs.
I'm not primarily living downstairs.
Well, sleeping.
What I said is that I sleep down there, but I don't go down there till we're done with dinner. We're done watching.
Bro, you don't sleep in the same bed as your wife. That's
TV
different. That's weird.
We're done for the evening.
Okay, just hear me out.
Okay.
So you don't go upstairs during the day while she's working. You leave her alone.
Yeah.
And then
Not entirely. I do go up there.
Okay.
But I don't work up there while she's on the phone because it's distracting. It's her office. I think that I've explained extremely well. She didn't sleep. She did, but you said...
He continues defending the fact that he was exiled to the garage.
I think it's an adjustment and a transition that she didn't feel like she could make right now because she couldn't afford the time that it would take.
But she's sleeping in the only part of the residence that's semi-comfortable. You're sleeping in the garage with the dogs.
how?
Yeah. Buddy, that's like you're literally in the middle of divorce right there. That's not what happy couples normally do. Like, I don't know, even when I was getting divorced, like outside of like before I moved out, we only didn't sleep in a bed one time. You were consistently sleeping in a different bed than your former wife. Unfortunately, she's not alive. Now, my ex-wife is still alive out there somewhere doing God knows what. But, it's like this guy has no control over himself. Also, if you're doing all this, you were doing all this just to stay with her so you guys could be on the show together. I just remember that. I just remembered he was doing all this, sleeping in the garage just so they can be on this stupid reality show together. This reality show that nobody would have even cared about. It wasn't going to save your marriage. You still were going to get divorced just so you can keep the house and have it under your name. And what was the big plan here? Okay, what's the big plan? We're going to be on this reality show. I'm going to get the money for flipping this house. The house is under my name and my mom's name, so she ain't going to get the house. I don't even care if she's upset about it because we already getting divorced anyway. She got me sleeping with the dogs and stuff. Meanwhile, she's sleeping in the bed. And then, like, also, I'm gonna do all the stuff so we can get all the sponsorships. But since it's gonna be the house in my name, once we get divorced, I'm gonna make sure I can keep the house because she didn't even want to be on the reality show. So these are all the ideas. Was this all the reality, like the ideas that were going through his head? Because these are all dumb. These are all stupid ideas. And I get, okay, the getting the money for the house thing, not the dumbest idea, but just have somebody who's down for this with you. You know, find you another hustle and grind type chick, or just get divorced, people. Just end your relationships, okay? I am a full supporter of just getting divorced, just ending your relationship. Don't start beating anybody. Don't get physical. Don't get back with violence of any sort. No, just walk away, move on, have a better life. Treat that as the get back of like, hey, I'm gonna be actually happy now. That can be your get back. Actually having happiness in your life can be your get back. But no, you're like, no, I gotta beat her. I gotta take her out of the world. Like, come on, man. Like, just get divorced. It's not even that bad. You possibly would have kept the house. They might have even kept you on the show. They would have been like, oh wow, this is different. He's flipping the house and he's dating. That could be a reality show right there.
How do you explain this woman's head being swollen?
Yes.
Her eyes being black.
And would never, ever hurt.
How do you explain it though? Not just saying I would never do this. How do you explain this, sir? I need you to give an explanation on how this could be possible. It doesn't feel possible, but it's happening.
So
it happened.
You pulled her out of the tub. You agreed with me that the water came out of the tub.
Yes.
There's not a spot of water on the floor, David. The carpet isn't wet. The carpet isn't wet from where she was pulled out of the bathtub, sopping wet, all the way around to the front of the couch. The carpet's not wet. There's no blood on the carpet.
Notice how little David moves compared to the detective. It doesn't correlate with anything in particular.
No, because he's caught. This is when you know you caught. And again, the more I'm watching this, I really do like this police officer. She's like my favorite person in the whole video. Obviously, there's not too many people in the video, so she had a pretty good chance of being up there anyway. But I'm a huge fan of this cop. You know, I like her so far. She's asking all the right questions, and I like that she's the bad cop. I like how the other lady came in there. It's like, oh, I'm going to be more sympathetic. I'm going to listen to you. Meanwhile, she's just coming up here like, you know what? You know what don't make sense? Literally everything you just said. Literally every thing you just said makes zero sense. Like, can you explain this for me? Can you explain how this is possible? Because it sounds very stupid to me. And I love that about her. She's my favorite.
It's just sort of interesting to watch.
My guess is she wasn't treating you very well.
Bro, are you smiling? Does he have a smile on his face? Chat, audience. Is this a smile? Is this a smile that I see on his face or something? Like some type of smirk? Is he smirking? I don't like that. She don't like it either. We on the same page. Get her. Get him.
Before they snap.
What?
Appreciate the.
Oh, I forgot that the other lady was there. I thought he said that at first, and I'm like, okay, so you just admitted it. But I forgot he's in yellow.
I'm missing what you're saying because of your suit that you're moving, but I'm missing it. It's really loud, but I missed what you said because you're talking so loud.
I'm sorry, it's Paulina. I appreciate the things that you've said and the genuine consideration and thoughtfulness behind it.
David, you killed this woman.
I cooperated so I could give you all the information.
She just blade out said it, and now you're saying I cooperated so I can give you all the information.
You cooperated because you thought that your language would overwhelm us, and you thought you could pull the wool over our eyes.
I don't think there was any effort to do that.
You could just say no. Look at the long way of him saying all these things. Like, I didn't think any of that. Like, bro, just say no. I'm not. That's not what I'm doing here. No.
All these tangents, all this flowery, fancy language,
answers to questions
all the details.
To questions that you asked.
Yeah, it's not just answering questions. It's how you answer the questions that matter as well. And yeah, they're right. They're 100% right. You are actually dumb. And this is the problem with people who have this type of personality. They don't actually, like, they're not getting the 1 + 1 = 2 concept of how conversations and like these type of things would work. Like, any person with an like do they just give GEDs and like high school diplomas and like college degrees to literally anybody who pays enough money to go? Or like, like, how easy is it to be a person these days where you don't even have to be, you can get to your 40s and still be the person who doesn't like add 1 + 1 = 2 to situations where it's like, we're asking you questions. Oh, but all I did was answer your questions. Okay, brother, there's no saving you. Go to jail just for being dumb. And now you also got to go to jail for the whole, the murder thing. But you're getting so much more, you're getting additional time. I'm not going to say so much more. You're getting the most amount of time for the crime you committed. But you're getting additional time just for being so dumb, in my opinion. Like, you're gonna get an additional. I need 10 years of you inside of reading books, actual books, learning, comprehending these books, not even just looking at the pages and flipping them. I need you to do book reports every day for 10 years in jail because you're dumb. And that's like, maybe even do an acting class for a good year or two. That way you can, get better at these phony things that you're doing here. It's dumb. These were stupid tangents that a lot of the questions they asked you were direct yes or no questions, or something with short responses, and you gave extended responses that didn't make sense. And also, guys, look at the power move she did. I just realized it. I didn't even know when she did it. That's how powerful she is. The tissue box is over here. She did the power move by bringing the tissue box closer to her side. The tissue box is on her side. He would have to reach over to get that. It's barriered. It's barriered right now. She's a G. She is the OG of, I want to meet her one day. I think I'm smitten. This is incredible.
You fake cried for about 7 or 8 hours today.
Yes.
Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one.
Look at the tissue box.
Not one. Not on scene with the officers.
Not one.
Not in this room.
Not one.
You have fake cried over this woman's death since we made contact with you for hours. And every single time you fake cried, we wrote it down. Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one. Nope.
Yep. You're not a good actor, buddy. I don't even know why you thought you could be on reality TV show. You're not even good enough to act on reality TV show. Because obviously those things need a little bit of acting to them. They're going to give you a little bit of a script. They're going to produce a little bit. You're not even good enough to do that. I don't even know why you got hired to be part of it. I don't even see how you made it past the audition stage of like, do we want this person? Nah, he's kind of lame. Let's move on. That should have been it. Maybe she'd still be with us. At least she wouldn't be with you, because I'm sure y'all still would have got divorced. So, whatever would have been the case where we could have got her still alive and then him not, I don't know. He'd probably still be committing crimes somewhere because he's an idiot. But I would love to live in the world where she is still alive. Or maybe he got so frustrated that he was like, you know what, whatever I'm going to do to her, I'm going to fall into a tub, that type of stuff. Like, do it to yourself, bro.
We've been extremely patient with you for a very long time. I am losing my patience at this point because there is not a lick of remorse for what you did to this woman.
Nope.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
You're staring at a woman you're telling us you're in love with, and you've done nothing the whole time.
Nope.
But close your eyes, huddle up, and protect your own ass. So we're just going to prove you're full of shit.
I love how the first lady was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. You've been lying the whole time. And
solve this case. And I'm glad you think that's funny.
Yeah, I'm glad you think that's funny.
I'm glad you think that's funny.
Yeah, I knew he was smirking. Oh, this guy pisses me off so much. I knew you were smirking, bro. I knew you were smirking. And look at you now. I hope you like smirking in jail. I hope you like that stuff in jail. I hope you're used to eating crackers and stuff and bottles of water. I don't know what they have in jail to eat. I hope they have better food in jail, but they only give you the waters and the crackers for however long you're going to be in there, which is hopefully the remainder of your lifetime.
The investigators would exit the room shortly after this moment, at 4:56 a.m. David would then sit there for a little over 2 hours before finally asking to go home. But before being driven back by one of the officers, they asked him if they could take his photograph. He cheerfully obliged. Judging by his expression, he may have thought he had just gotten away with murder, but a grand jury indicted him 4 months later, and he was arrested at his mother's house. When he was told he was facing life imprisonment, and that the evidence against him was overwhelming, he started acting crazy, and went for the insanity defense. He was then sent to a maximum security psych unit.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even realize this was in Florida the whole time. I didn't even realize we were in the state of Florida the whole time. This is actually explaining so many things that I had said were super dumb before. Like every dumb thing that I mentioned before, it is all being explained by the name Florida coming up on my screen right now. This is all I needed to see. All I needed to see was this symbol right here. These words right here. You know, this right here. You know, Florida state. It's a state of Florida, the Florida state. This is the state of Florida. Look at this. Everybody probably got shorts on right now. It's cloudy, but it's like still nice out there. Guys, this explains everything.
Where he spent 5 years before a judge ruled him competent to stand trial. This is what he looked like on the day he was transferred back to jail.
You're trying to look crazy at this point. I get it. You're clearly going for the crazy look. He's trying to do the crazy eye. You don't even look crazy enough. This don't look like a crazy eye. This looks more like one of my eyes just looks in a different direction than the other one sometimes. Like this is a cross-eyed thing. You need to go for a crazy eye thing. Like you're not even intimidating. You look like you would get beat up very easily.
His trial began on October 12th and lasted 6 days. He maintained his plea of not guilty, with his official defense being that he was out of the house walking the dogs while an unknown intruder broke in and murdered Shanti.
They came in there, they broke in, they got her, they left, they didn't take anything, they didn't leave any type of like evidence, and they dropped her off in the tub, and then you just found her. And then they also didn't like leave the door broken open or anything. The door was just normal. So they went in there silently, did this, came back out. You didn't notice it. Nobody noticed it. And then they, that was just it. They left it for you to take the fall. That sounds real. Does she have enemies like that? Like, do y'all have like enemies like that where you just like, people willing to do that? Like, people are just willing to go in there and do that to her. Like you got enemies. Like, is she in gang related activities? Like, what's happening? No, people don't normally just do that for no reason. So that's a dumb, again, I'm sorry if you live in Florida right now, but you understand why. I mean, I'm in Ohio, so I get it. I'm gonna fall victim to people saying things about Ohio probably later on today at some point, knowing how much people make fun of Ohio. So I'm using this opportunity to also make fun of Florida. This makes sense. It's Florida.
Heard about the sleeping arrangement. You heard how the defendant was sleeping in the garage with the dogs, while Shanti was staying in the essential, one bedroom apartment, separate and apart from him. And this had been going on, for over a year. This was an intentional killing. A random stranger that comes into a house isn't going to, take the time that it takes to strangle a person, to move them to a tub.
Yeah.
Not take anything?
Exactly. They took the time to not even just like, oh, I'm gonna just shoot the person. I'm gonna physically strangle them for like however long that takes, and then do all this other stuff. Bring them to another room. Not take anything. I'm just gonna leave immediately after that. The only way that's possible is if you hired a hitman, bro. The only way that's possible is if you personally hired somebody to do this. Or somebody hired somebody to do this, which means somebody's got a vendetta against her, which means she's got enemies. Does she got enemies like that? Do you have enemies like that? Like, this is like some like criminal, like nobody would do that. This isn't like, oh, we're some random gang members. We found the house in the middle of the afternoon and we broke in and did this and left out and nobody saw us and we didn't. No. Security cameras. Nobody, you would have caught somebody on one of your neighbor's security cameras, either yours or your neighbor's. Who has security cameras? One of y'all would have got that. Come on now.
Doesn't make any sense.
It
Leave
doesn't.
no sign behind, no fingerprints,
Nope.
no DNA.
Nope.
That doesn't make any sense.
No signs
you
of breaking
have the
or
severe
entering.
beating of Shanti. You have the injuries to both sides of her face.
Yep.
You have the fractured skull, the swollen shut eye, the damaged eye on the other side. That you saw the intense bruising and bleeding in both sides of her mouth. This was a beating. So at some point in that beating, the defendant, and you can infer this from the facts, intended to cause the death. And he did it with a premeditated design. We ask that you convict him of first-degree murder.
Yep.
Thank you.
The defense mainly tries to evoke
Infer this.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened right there, but my camera went out for a second. I'm back. I tried to go back a little bit because when you see his defense lawyer, you understand why I had to go back. And I think that may have been when my camera went out. My camera went out because it didn't want to just make fun of this guy for a long time. But like, look at his defense lawyer.
We ask that you convict him of first-degree murder. Thank you.
I mean, that's the prosecutor.
The defense mainly...
Look at this guy. This is your defense lawyer? You are going to jail. Like, what are you defending? Like, if he's not on the court for, like, the popcorn, the Orville Redenbacher, like, outside of that, that's the only trials that I need this guy to defend is Orville Redenbacher trials or like Cedar Point trials. If he's not defending Cedar Point or prosecuting Cedar Point or defending or prosecuting Orville Redenbacher's, I don't know. Like, he's useless. He serves two purposes. That's the only thing he can do. He can't defend you against the situation like that. Look at his tie. Look at his bow tie he's got. He can only defend you if this is a popcorn case. This evidence bag, that's popcorn. Like, he doesn't have any. You think he's got real evidence? That's popcorn, ladies and gentlemen.
He tries to evoke empathy for the defendant, but it ends up just roasting the fake crazy out of him.
Shanti's
roasting like popcorn.
The only source of the income. She's the breadwinner. He does nothing other than take care of the pool and the dogs.
This is your defense? Bro, this is your defense talking. Look at his face right now. He's like, whoa, this is my lawyer? Are you sure this is the other people's lawyer again? Like, did they get two lawyers and I just have like one? Am I defending myself? What's happening right now? Because that don't sound like the opening statement I want my lawyer to tell ever. Like, even if that was, if I'm in his situation, I would never want my lawyer to open up like that.
It's about circumstantial evidence, pure supposition, all steered by Teresa Sprague, who prejudged this case based upon a phone call received from her from an officer at the scene about these crocodile tears. This is just a hunch, ladies and gentlemen. A hunch.
I mean, wasn't she actually the cop who was interviewing him as well? And then was like, yeah, you haven't cried for 4 hours while talking about her in our investigation in the precinct. Like, that's not even just the cop calling. They witnessed it. We saw two cops interrogate him for 4+ hours and he fake cried the whole time. He never picked up the tissue. We saw that. What are you talking about?
If you hear Hubs,
this is why you never want a guy like this defending you. If you see a guy like this being like, oh, that's my lawyer, ask for another lawyer immediately. Immediately, don't even be like, you know what? Don't let him defend him. Don't let him be like, oh, I'm actually a pretty good lawyer. Oh, you're going to regret this. You know what? Bye. Get out of here, sir. This isn't a popcorn case. We're not suing Cedar Point here. We're not suing Orville Redenbacher himself. Like, what are you doing?
It's think horses, not zebras, sort of thing. Because that's the point.
What are you talking about?
Fit a square peg in a round hole because it's convenient. And that's what...
Exactly. Look, thank you, JCS.
It's think horses, not zebras, sort of thing. Because that's the point. You don't get to fit a square peg in a round hole because it's convenient.
Thank you. This is me. This is my face. This is literally me, Joey, or not. This is Chandler. My bad, Chandler. Me and you. This is me and Matthew Perry over here.
With the rush to judgment, with the confirmational bias, those two detectives went into a room with David Tronis and worked him over. He sat there for 16 hours, bared his soul to them, literally and figuratively, told them what.
I love the French references.
Them, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, Ross, me and you were very confused. I'm just as confused as you, Ross. I don't know what's happening. He's like, this guy's confused. He committed the crime and he's so confused. Like, why is my lawyer talking like this? How can I tell my lawyer to shut the fuck up so I cannot go to jail for? You'd be better just not speaking and just let them be like, hey, I gotta ask you a question, and you just be like, you know what? I plead the fifth. You might be better off just pleading the fifth the whole time than allowing your lawyer to continue talking. If you allow this lawyer to continue talking, you're 1,000% going to jail. I want to send you to jail. I want to send the lawyer to jail at this point. I'm starting to think the lawyer was in on it. That's how bad of a lawyer he is. The lawyer is so bad, I think he was a part of the crime now, and I don't even think he was there. But I feel like he knew about the crime in advance. That's how bad of a lawyer he is.
Told them what he knew, told them what he saw. The government's the one spinning here. The government's the one taking the insignificant and stacking them into a pyramid. And I'm confident that after carefully deliberating, that you'll come back and return the only just verdict in this case.
Bro, look at this box right here. Is this like a box for like corn or something? Like, what is this box? This looks like a grocery store box. This looks like one of those boxes you get when you're like getting a bunch of stuff from a grocery store, and they're like, oh, we're one of those stores where you could take your own box, and they just let you take a box from off the shelves. This looks like the type of box you take.
And that's a verdict of not guilty. Thank you.
Verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment.
Yeah.
So it says we all, dated at Orange County, Florida, on the 18th day of October, 2023, signed by the foreperson.
Wow. In the midst of this tragedy, Shanti's impact as a mother was shown through her son, Jackson. His victim impact statement was both heartrending and dignified.
My family and I have been waiting for about 5 years for justice. I miss her so much. I would have never thought the day before was the last time I would see my mother alive. I miss the times where we would go to Universal, or just the simple times, like walking the dogs or going to the park. She was the best mom I could ever ask for. That's it.
Yeah.
Defense, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Jackson.
Yeah.
Mr. Tronis, anything you wish to say prior to sentencing?
Don't even talk.
I think you just said no, is that right? Then in this case, the court will adjudicate you guilty, will sentence you to life imprisonment. Luck to you, sir. And the court will be in recess.
No good luck to you, sir. Bad luck to you. I hope the worst things happen.
This is his latest mugshot. He is currently being housed at the Graceville Correctional Facility in maximum security, where he is expected to remain.
Good. Guys, that was an interesting journey with our good old buddy JCS. I like this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. It was a little sad at points. I will say that. I tried to add a little bit of levity to the situation, but obviously this isn't like the most positive video in the world. But we still had a good time here, I like to think. Make sure you subscribe to JCS on your own. Go to his channel, check him out. Also, don't commit crimes. If you do commit crimes, be smarter with it. But again, don't commit crimes. That's the biggest thing. Don't even do it in the first place. So you don't even have to get better at committing crimes, because you just don't do them. Just don't commit crimes, especially heinous crimes where somebody loses their life. So don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any more videos to recommend or anything, or if you enjoyed this, let me know. If you have any other channels you recommend that I take a look at or check out, let me know down below. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to, erase my brain of this whole situation, because this is actually kind of messed up. Again, guys, just get a divorce. Just find a new person, just leave, leave your family if you have to, if it's going to keep them alive. And I'm not a supporter. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, just be a deadbeat dad. But if it's between that, or you're like, I'm either going to be a deadbeat or I'm going to murder somebody, like, just be a deadbeat dad. It's okay. I have a deadbeat father in my life. He's, I don't talk to him. He's a piece of crap. But at the same time, like, you know what? I'm glad he didn't murder anybody that I know about, So it's like, hey, shout outs to that one specific thing, I guess. But outside of that, you could just be a bad dad. You could just be a bad husband. You could just be like a piece of crap guy where it's like, oh, you left your wife because she didn't want to be in a reality show with you. Yeah. The alternative was doing that. The other thing was like, oh, well, glad everybody's going to be like, well, I'm glad you left your wife. That's everything. Everybody's going to say that. I'm glad you left your wife. So, hey, if you made this far into the video with all those ramblings and, you enjoyed what you've been seeing so far, it stressed me out a little bit, but, we're making it. Then make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe to the channel, you do all the fun stuff to let me know that you enjoy. You do the call and response things. Like I threw out a couple of calls there. I'm looking for some responses. So let's go ahead and do that. So, again, if you made it this far into the video, as always, I want to say thank you. I love you. Bye.